Welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts Travel Podcast, the show that gives you advice on everything travel. We explore places you've always wanted to go, as well as giving tips for traveling in those places. We'll give you advice on the best sites for travel tips, information, and discounts. Join us as we travel the world, explore cultures, and meet new people. The Golden State Media Concepts Travel Podcast has got you covered.
Hello and welcome to the GSMC Travel Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Sarah, and I was thinking about this episode for this week, and it's December now, which means lots and lots of Christmas preparations, and Christmas everywhere got me to thinking about Christmas markets, which happen all over the place. The first one I think the first one that I'd ever been to was when I lived for a year in Pennsylvania, and my sister came to visit, and we went to a local Christmas market. It was a lot of fun, I think. It was a really, really traumatic year for me when I was living there, and nothing against Pennsylvania. I don't have a problem with your state. I just had a very difficult year, and my sister came out to kind of help give me a pick me up. And so we went to this Christmas market, and I did enjoy it. I just kind of have blocked a lot of it. So, anyway, it got me thinking that there's a bunch of Christmas markets in Europe, of course. And I have a friend who has lived in Britain and who now lives in Belgium. And she posts pictures whenever they travel somewhere to go to a Christmas market. And I thought, I want to do that. That is a definite bucket list item. So today's topic is Christmas markets and European Christmas markets specifically. So I figure if I'm gonna dream, I'm gonna dream big. And there are Christmas markets here in the States as well, but we're gonna dream about European Christmas markets today. And this list comes from jetsetter.com, and it is their list of the 13 top Christmas markets. Why 13? I don't know. It's an odd number. The first one they say is Scansense Christmas Market in Stockholm, Sweden. Christmas isn't over in Stockholm until New Year's Eve fireworks go off, a tradition that has been upheld by the open air Skansen Museum and Zoo since 1903. In Bollnäs Square, oh goodness, I don't know how to pronounce that word, but Swedish Yuletide goodies have the lay of the land. The scent of sugared almonds, marzipan, smoked turkey, and fresh breads mingle in the market air. You can step onto the property, onto one of the property's farmstead houses, and you'll step back in time. The home's interiors and Christmas trees are adorned with period-appropriate holiday decor, and tables are done up with typical Swedish feasts. I love that historical aspect with the houses that you can step into and go back in time, especially with the decorated Christmas trees, because decorations have changed throughout the years. And they're also different for different countries, different cultures. So that sounds really, really fascinating to me. I would love to do that. What to look for? The Christmas tree ring dance. On Saturdays and Sundays, professional dancers and regular visitors gather around the central tree to hold hands and twirl around to traditional music, which sounds fun and would also probably help to keep you warm, because I think that Sweden is cold in the winter. That's my guess. Anyway, it looks cold in the winter. So number one was Sweden, Stockholm, Sweden. Number two is Marché de Noël. Let's see, Marché de Noël. There's no accent. In Lille, France. France. I don't know what's going on with me tonight. At this Christmas market, French tradition meets Flemish influence. at the annual Marche de Noël. Festivities mount at Place Rihour, where 80 chalet-style stalls burst with holiday-themed gifts, festive foods, nativity scene figurines, and specialties from Poland, Russia, and Quebec. More than 900,000 people crowd the market each snowy season, with many making the hour-long commute from Paris and the 2-hour commute from London. If you're looking to track down a traditional snack, go for Maroilles cheese, Munster-like soft cheese, or honey-flavored babalootas, which is toffee-ish candies. The one thing that struck me in this one was the nativity figures. I love nativities. I have not as many as my mother, but I have a lot of nativity scenes. I have one that my father carved for me, which I absolutely love. I have one that I got at a church bazaar that is African in nature, and it's also beautifully handcrafted. I have a lot of them, and I keep collecting them, and my husband doesn't get it. They're not his favorite Christmas decoration, but that's what I would be, drawn to. And the food, of course, because that's always fun to try new foods. What to look for at this Christmas market is the Ferris wheel on Place de General de Gaulle, also known as the Grande Place, the city's main square. It's tucked into a gondola, and you can go for a high-altitude spin over the Belgian border town's Christmas tree and illuminated market aisle. You have a 160-foot high view from the top of this Ferris wheel, which sounds amazing and maybe a little yikes because I am afraid of heights. It's my own issue. I would try to do it though because it sounds awesome. Number 3. Oh, I see pictures of nutcrackers. That looks awesome. Number 3 is Yule, Copenhagen, Denmark. Copenhagen celebrates Yule, as in Yuletide, it's spelled J-U-L, with a Christmas crafts market and surfeit of light-bedecked Christmas trees in the city's famed historic amusement park, Tivoli Gardens. Nearly 4 miles of lights are artfully hung in patterns dictated by Tiffany's head designer, while 1,800 more strands are draped on the lakeside willows. Join the Danes in warding off the cold with Abelskiver, iced donuts with blackcurrant jam, and glog, a steaming hot mulled red wine laden with raisins, almonds, cinnamon sticks, and cloves, all of which are steeped in aquavit or schnapps. There is also a crafts market installed along a canal in the historic Nijhaven district. Try to visit it between 5 and 6 p.m. on weekdays to catch the town crier. Okay, what caught me on this one was the glog, which sounds way better than the version I once had while living in Texas. There was a guy at a Christmas party that I went to, and he made, maybe it wasn't glog, but it sounded like that. And it was so insanely alcoholic. Oh my gosh, it burned your nose hairs just getting close to it, I swear. This has, it's hot mulled red wine. So first of all, if you like red wine and you like mulled wine, then that might be good. But it also has raisins, almonds, and cinnamon sticks and cloves. And those have been steeped in the aquavit or the schnapps. It doesn't say, oh, and this guy lit his on fire. I think it was something different, but the word reminded me of that. So lit it on fire. It was majorly alcoholic. You had to stay away from that if you wanted to actually be able to walk more than 2 steps at a time. Oh my. So what to look for at Yule in Copenhagen, Denmark? That is pixie-like nisser. Nisser, tiny household elves that infest Denmark around Christmas, clad in clogs, red shirts, and pointed red caps. More fickle than their cousin Santa, they might bring presents if you leave them bowls of porridge in the attic. If you forget, they'll leave you all kinds of mischief instead. I love those stories. I love those traditions. I will have to look up Nisser and see see the stories behind them. I have Norwegian heritage, and there are trolls in our heritage that they can be helpful or they can be very, very mischievous. So I am interested to look up and see how similar Nisser might be. We're going to go ahead and take our first break of the podcast. When we come back, we'll talk about number 4 on this list. Stay tuned. You're listening to the GSMC Travel Podcast, and I'll be right back.
Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
Welcome back to the GSMC Travel Podcast. We are talking about Christmas markets throughout Europe. We were just in Denmark at Yule. The next one is Streisel Market, something along like that, in Dresden, Germany. Some of the pictures here are amazing. I mean, so many lights. And that's one of the things I love about this time of year is all the lights. Nothing says Christmas like a 4-ton fruitcake. Wow. At least that's the fervent opinion of the citizens of Dresden, who parade their supersized Stollen throughout the city in early December. 4-ton fruitcake. I don't even want to know how you make a 4-ton fruitcake. It's accompanied by the Stollen Machten, or fruitcake maiden. The Saxon fruit loaf wends its way through the medieval streets before making its triumphal entry into the Streisel market, where surrounded by 230 glittering craft stalls and a 46-foot Christmas pyramid, the Stollen is chopped into pieces that are inflicted upon the market goers. Inflicted, oh my goodness. Dresden's Streisel market and its odd traditions date back to 1434, making it Germany's oldest continuously running Christmas market. Okay, they do not go small at this Christmas market. Holy buckets. A 4-ton fruitcake, a 46-foot Christmas pyramid. I don't even know what that is exactly. I mean, obviously it's shaped like a pyramid in some ways, but wow. And then I don't know what that means about inflicting it upon the market goers, except that how do you bake a 4-ton fruitcake that, well, most people don't like fruitcake in the first place. Some people love it. Other people think it's gross. So maybe it's just inflicted on the people. I really don't know. That one fascinates me. Something to look for at this market is crafts. Top artisans from across Saxony arrive bearing all sorts of regional specialties, from wooden crafts from the Ore Mountains to blown glass from Lauscha, Blaudruck indigo prints from the Lusatia region, incense burners shaped like nutcrackers, and Dresden's own famed blue and white ceramics. So that is what to look for there. Number 5. Ooh, more pretty lights, of course. Number 5, various markets in Prague, Czech Republic. The 2 best Christmas markets are on the long slope of Wenceslas Square and the medieval movie set of the Old Town Square. First of all, just the fact that it's on Wenceslas Square is perfect because Wenceslas just evokes Christmas to me. Formed around a giant Christmas tree, manger scene, and small petting zoo. The market's brightly decorated stalls sell wooden toys, bohemian crystal, handmade jewelry, classic Czech marionettes, and plenty of potential for tooth decay. Honeyed gingerbread, Vanocvka. If you know how to pronounce that, please do tell me. It's a braided pastry studded with raisins, and also something called wasp's nests, which are nutty cookies heavy with rum. You can wash it all down with mead and a sweet mulled wine. Christmas Eve dinner consists of wine, sausages, and carp. Interesting. You'll see barrels of the fish everywhere. Slip a carp scale into your wallet to ensure an adequate cash flow for the upcoming year. Carp scale, I was picturing like a bathroom scale or, like some kind of scale that you would weigh the carp on, not a scale from the actual fish. My goodness. I need sleep, apparently. What you look for at these markets is St. Nicholas and his cohorts. The original St. Nick, and we did just celebrate St. Nicholas Day on December 6th. The one with a bishop's mitre and a staff is hugely popular in Prague. So a highlight of Christmas season is Mikuláš or St. Nicholas Day. This kindly saint takes his own day, December 5th, sorry, not December 6th, to Rome town accompanied by an angel and a demon. Oh my. The trio wades through the crowds of kids in the old town square, tallying the naughty and the nice. So you still get the naughty and the nice. I keep laughing at the meme that comes up on Facebook of the old icon of St. Nicholas. And it says that moment when you realize that St. Nicholas was actually a Klingon. And it's accompanied by a picture of Worf from Star Trek The Next Generation. Does that make me a total nerd? Like a theological sci-fi nerd? Probably. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. Number 6. Christkindle Market in Salzburg, Austria. This is one of Europe's oldest markets. There are documents from the 15th century describing the fine crafts being sold by elderly women in front of the Salzburg Cathedral during Advent season. It is also smaller and more intimate than the other markets listed on this list. It's just 96 stalls ranged under the floodlit Baroque stage set that is downtown Salzburg, with its fountains snuggled under avant-garde glass casings for the winter, church bells echoing off the buildings, and the medieval castle glowering down from the cliff above. It's a perfect postcard backdrop for browsing stalls selling pewter crafts, furry slippers, and Loden coats while keeping warm with Lebkuchen, which is gingerbread, roasted chestnuts and almonds, sausages, and sweet mulled wine. I just remembered that I did have mulled wine at the Christmas market that I went to. See, some of it's coming back to me. I know my sister was there, and that made everything good. Austria is definitely a place that I would love to visit, and the pictures, all the pictures are beautiful. I mean, they're not going to put ugly pictures on something like this. So what to look for? One of the world's largest advent calendars, just south of town at the Schloss Hellbrunn, a 17th century pleasure palace built for Salzburg's Archbishop princes that just so happens to have 24 windows on its facade. Perfect for an advent calendar. Today, there's a crafts market and a living nativity. I love advent calendars, so clearly this is a market that I need to check out at some point in my life. All right, number 7. Fira de Santa Lucia, Barcelona, Spain. And look at that picture. Okay, sorry. I shouldn't look at pictures when you can't look at them with me. So this one has been going on for over 200 years, and it is, as I said, the Fira Santa Lucia. It opened in 1786, and the market's very first stalls sold mainly clay and paper nativity scenes and children's dolls. Cool. As of 2019, more than 300 booths sprawl out on the Avenida de la Catedral in Pla de Sula Square. I'm so sorry to everyone for mispronouncing so many things. That square is in the city's ancient center, and unlike most Christmas markets, you won't find any Germanic influence here. No bratwurst or mulled wine. Instead, the market goes all out with Spanish flair, complemented nicely by the built-in Gothic architecture of the Cathedral of the Holy Cross and St. Eulalia. Very cool. So what to look for here? That would be your very own Tio de Nadal, a staple of Catalan Christmas tradition. Barcelona's littlest holiday celebrants know that gifts come at the cost of sucking up to Tio de Nadal, a smiling log made cozy in a red blanket and hat. Oh, that is fascinating and a little weird. Kids are in charge of looking after their Tio up until Christmas Eve when they flip a switch and beat him with a stick until he releases presents and treats. Oh my goodness. That's, wow. Traditions are weird, aren't they? I don't even know what to say about that, but okay. Beating the log with a stick. That seems like a good time to take a break. I need a moment. Stay tuned. You're listening to the GSMC Travel Podcast, and I'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Travel Podcast. This list contains 13 Christmas markets around Europe, and we have done 7, which means we're only a little bit more than halfway. So I'm going to try to pick things up and maybe keep my own commentary to a minimum. I'll try not to be shocked about Christmas traditions. Number 8, Marion Platts markets in Munich, Germany. There's craft stalls surrounding a glittering 100-foot Christmas tree on the Marion Platz, which is filled with Muncheners, people from Munich, I guess, munching on sausages. See, we're back to that Germanic influence. They're eating, they're drinking, and Munich trains its next generation of marketers in the Heavenly Workshop in the town hall's pub, where kids dress up as angels to practice arts, crafts, and the baking of traditional cookies. Adorable. Every evening at 5:30 from the Friday before Advent to the night before Christmas, a brass band and alpine choir peal out carols from the balcony of the neo-Gothic town hall. Look for small themed markets sprinkled around the city, including the famed Crib Market or Rinder Market with Bavarian and Tyrolean nativity figures, and a medieval market on Wittelsbacher Platz. Also keep your eyes peeled for the Christmas tram that trundles through the old city serving spiced wine and gingerbread. Number 9, Advent, Zagreb, Croatia. Advent in Zagreb is no small affair, and approaching any Croatian Christmas market should first involve a cinnamony glass of mulled wine. The main market spreads out on a square, but Advent souvenir stalls unfurl all around the city. When you're not buying handcrafted ornaments or honey gingerbread, wander through the capital district for a live nativity scene, or make for Zirnjevak Park, where you'll find 220 trees done up in their most festive holiday lights. Very cool. Very cool. What to look for? Performances by the 6-piece Ad Gloriam brass ensemble on the balcony of the Croatian National Theatre and other landmark buildings in Zagreb every Sunday. Depending on the day, you could catch Christmas songs, polka, or a film score. Also swing by the Christmas Carol Tunnel, which mixes 3D art, live music, light shows, and video projections. That sounds really interesting. Christkindle's Marion, Strasbourg, France. The France-Germany border has spent centuries dancing to either side of the Alsace region. It's currently in the France column, but its Teutonic traditions have blessed the Alsatian capital of Strasbourg with the oldest, 445 years and counting, and according to this, best Christmas market in France, complete with caroling choirs, nativity plays, an ice rink, and mulled wine served in boot-shaped mugs, as long as it's boot-shaped mugs and not just actual boots. Wooden stalls are stacked with delicate ornaments, and nativity figurines surround Notre Dame Cathedral and line Place Broglie. Edible specialties include pretzels, roasted chestnuts, cookies, and a flame cake, which is a thin pizza of bacon, onions, and creme fraiche. What to look for are stuffed white storks, the city mascot, and an Alsatian symbol of good luck in the boutiques of La Petite France, a picturesque canal-threaded corner of the historic center. These half-timbered houses, which once belonged to millers, tanners, and fishermen, are bathed in a warm yellow glow from garlands of Christmas lights, and the gingerbread bakery does a roaring seasonal trade. Number 11, various markets in London, England. London's Christmas shopping season opens in November when Regent Street ceremoniously switches on its Christmas lights for a pedestrian parade. London typically spreads out its Christmas cheer from the official Norwegian fir on Trafalgar Square to the ice skating rink at Somerset House. Trees bedecked with fairy lights herald Hyde Park's Winter Wonderland, which is mid-November through early January, which includes London's largest outdoor skating rink, a toboggan slide, a Ferris wheel, carolers, and a traditional German Christmas market. More small markets spring up at the Natural History Museum, which installs a temporary ice rink, as well as Greenwich Market. Christmas concerts abound, but it's hard to resist the carol sing-along at the Royal Albert Hall. Cool. What to look for? The Tower of London's Medieval Christmas, which is at the end of December. A fanciful, quote, historical reimagining set in the 1284 court of Edward I and the great Christmas pudding race of costumed contestants treading an obstacle course around Covent Garden while balancing fruitcakes on spoons. That makes me laugh, and I'd like to see it. Number 12, Christkindle Market in Vienna, Austria. Vienna's venerable Christkindle Market on Rathausplatz flings opens its stall shutters in mid-November, and 3 million visitors flock here each year for beeswax candles, wooden toys, and glass ornaments. Shoppers snack on cream-filled pastries, candied fruit, roasted chestnuts, and a spiced Christmas punch of wine, brandy, or schnapps sweetened with warm fruit juices. I'm gaining weight just reading all of this. The market puts a premium on tradition. There are precious few tacky stands selling plastic toys, and Santa Claus, whom many locals view as the Hollywood harbinger of a commercialized Christmas, is strictly verboten. Instead, there's the traditional Wiener Christkindle, the official Christ child, invariably played, following an old Teutonic custom, by a young woman with long blonde curls. Interesting. There's another market of Lux Christmas wares in the Baroque forecourt of the suburban Schönbrunn Palace, and a more intimate and sophisticated market lining the narrow cobblestone streets of Vienna's Spittelberg district. What to look for? More than 3 dozen Advent season concerts. The city of Haydn and Strauss invites choirs from around the world to perform Christmas music in the Rathaus every weekend, Friday to Sunday, from late November to December 24th as part of the Internationales Adventsingen Festival. And finally, number 13, it's a baker's dozen. That's Christkindle Market in Nuremberg, Germany. On the Friday before Advent, the Golden Christmas Angel appears on the high gallery of the medieval Frauenkirche to recite the opening prologue for one of the biggest and most famous Christmas markets of them all, and that is Nuremberg's Christkindle Market. 2 million shoppers descend upon the 180 candy cane striped stalls that fill the main square with crafts, ornaments, and toys. The air is perfumed with gingerbread, glühwein, and smoke swirling from bratwurst grills. Market officials enforce traditions with typical Teutonic efficiency. No plastic wreaths, no recorded Christmas music, or gaudy carousels allowed. What to look for? Nuremberg plum people. Tiny puppets made of prune limbs, fig torsos, and walnut heads with painted-on faces. Stall owners compete to win the coveted Gold Plum Person prize for their displays. Oh my gosh. I don't know what you thought about all of those Christmas markets throughout Europe. But now my bucket list has extended to not only going to a European Christmas market, but doing a tour. I just want to go to all of them. I don't know when that would happen, but that sounds amazing. I love Advent. I love Christmas, and all of this just sounds, I wonder if you'd get overwhelmed after a while and you'd just be like, ugh, not another Christmas market and another glass of mulled wine. I can't do it. I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe if you were doing it year after year after year after year, but I think that sounds like an amazing tour, and I'm going to put that on my bucket list. So thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the GSMC Travel Podcast. I'm excited to announce that we have a new show host coming aboard in the next couple of weeks. Her name is Carolyn, and we are very excited to hear her take on the travel podcast. So keep an ear out for Carolyn as host, and join us next time for the next episode. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful week. Thanks.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Travel Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type in GSMC to find all of our shows from the GSMC Podcast Network. From travel to health and wellness to entertainment and life and happiness to sex and relationships. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's episode of the Golden State Media Concepts Travel Podcast.